You might not know the name Nigel Waymouth, but you've seen his art rock the world. He made posters for Jimi Hendrix, Pink Floyd, The Who, you name it. And at one time, he rejected doing an album cover for Oasis because he had no idea who they were. However, he did just finish his latest work, a new poster for the Okeechobee Music and Arts Festival. He's also my dad.
We started a club called the UFO Club, which was, the resident band was Pink Floyd. It only lived for 9 months, but these 9 months have lived into legend. We were just committed to doing it for 2 weeks, and then we realized that it was going to work. We'd been very influenced by what was going on in San Francisco, so we needed a poster. Hoppy and I said, let's have a poster. And this was such a classic 60s moment, because I said to Hoppy, I know just the guy. His name is Nigel Waymouth, and he will do a fantastic poster for us. And Hoppy said, I know just a guy. His name is Michael English, and he's done some work for International Times, and he'll do a fantastic poster. And I said, no, my guy will do a fantastic. And Hoppy said, no, my guy will do a fantastic poster. And then we said, oh, let's get them to do it together. And so we took Nigel and Michael and locked them in a room in Princedale Road.
That's right.
And said, don't come out till you have a poster.
In 1967, he and Michael English formed Hapshash The Coloured Coat, a psychedelic design duo with one mission: to unleash an explosion of colour to the streets of London like never before. Their medium? Poster art. Like many of the great artistic partnerships, Lennon and McCartney, Simon and Garfunkel, Nigel Waymouth and Michael English complemented each other perfectly. They didn't just design posters in the 60s, they actually made the 60s look like the 60s and inspired generations of artists and musicians ever since. And before poster art, Nigel co-founded a shop called Granny Takes a Trip, the original psychedelic boutique in London.
And the thing that was so striking and that helped to make Granny Takes a Trip the hottest boutique in London, where Mick Jagger and John Lennon and people used to come and buy clothes and hang out, was the visual imagery with which you surrounded the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because you not only, I remember the first time you showed me like a calling card that just said Granny Takes a Trip, that was beautifully drawn by you.
The Queen shop there, Bowie was inspired by it, the Beatles, Marianne Faithfull, the Stones, Clapton, all passed through Nigel's world. It wasn't just fashion, it was a movement.
Well, yes, I mean, we did. We put male and female clothes on the same rail and let people rummage around and pick what they wanted.
It was kind of a center.
Yes, it was. Oh, yes, people made it a pilgrimage almost to go there. But once they were in, then it became more than that, and people would return, and you'd get the Stones or the Beatles or whoever would pop in. And so all these new things, ideas, and fashions came along as a result of that.
And here we have another one.
Yeah, there we go.
The Okeechobee.
Okie reminded him of something. Not the scene, but the spirit.
It sounds to me like this latest commission was done very much like we used to do it.
Yeah.
Because I would just say, you know, here are the facts, here's what we need, here's who's being booked at UFO for this period. You know, and we'd wait, oh my gosh, what are they going to come up with?
Now in his 80s, Nigel still creates with his hands. His studio is a beautiful mess. Sketchbooks, brushes, screen prints, and tea, obviously.
It's time for a little reminder, so to speak, for a new generation to see something that their forefathers had produced. When you look at a poster like that, in the abstract and look at the design, forget about all the detail and all the little fussy bits. Just see the top bit, the middle bit, and the bottom bit. You know, that's the foundation. That's your drum and bass.
I could recognize in it so many images from your past and things that have meant something to you in the past that have been reconfigured into this poster.
That's right.
To kind of, you know, hopefully the spirit of what was going on in the 60s lives on even in Central Florida.
The beast within us that is part of our human nature. And that's what needs to be tamed by the other more spiritual elements, if you like. And then, you know, in the middle you've got the lady. She's like the goddess who's sort of in charge of it all, I suppose. You know, you've got the crescent moon, and which is the Muslim. And then you've got the Jewish star, and then you've got a mushroom, exploding mushroom, and that's like atomic or whatever, nuclear power, or the end of the world or whatever.
Yeah, and whatever happened with Save Earth Now?
Save Earth one was, yes, Michael and I decided, we thought it was a nice message, you know, an ecology message, and to be aware that we were screwing up the planet if we're not careful, and sure enough, we decided we'd produce this poster, and we called it Save Earth Now. You know, after the bomb dropped on Hiroshima, we were in a nuclear age, and that's when you get a nuclear deterrent, but people were very conscious that you could drop a bomb on a city and destroy it. We were conscious of the fact that we were now part of this whole horror.
He still has opinions, still surprises us. Yeah, and whatever happened with Oasis?
I probably didn't even know who they were at the time. You know, that's the thing. I was living in LA. I wasn't conscious of what was going on in England. But anyway, it's all very flattering when you hear that young people are still interested to that level.
One of the mainstream music business guys who used to come down to the UFO Club was Mike Jeffries, who was the manager of Jimi Hendrix. And he was kind of fascinated with the scene, and he loved the posters. Mike Jeffries said, "We want a poster."
You have to remember, in those days, none of these people were the huge stars that they are now. So bumping into or passing a joint to Paul McCartney or Jimi Hendrix, not the same kind of idea of what we have today of doing something like that.
Passing a joint to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, love, peace and good vibrations, man. My friend Mark Palmer, whose mother was the lady in waiting to the Queen, was coming in, and he bumped into the Queen, and Mark, you know, used to smoke a lot of joints and things, and the Queen said to him, "Now, Mark, your mother is very worried about you because she says you smoke a lot of pot." And Mark said, well, Mom, I don't, she's worried about me. You should see the size of her, you know, bathroom cabinet and all the pills that are there that she takes. Yeah.
Nigel Waymouth, artist, trendsetter, reluctant legend, and a pretty good dad too.
Always give peace a chance.
asked him, why do you still do it?
Because I love doing it. And it's not a choice I can make. I mean, if I stopped doing it, I wouldn't be happy. I think I'd be frustrated.